All right, so move on to the next segment. Which NFL quarterbacks are set to have an improved season from their previous year that they had in last year's NFL season? So this list of quarterbacks I do believe will have an improvement in their game and will be an improved quarterback this upcoming NFL season. So starting with quarterback number one is Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Denver Broncos. Now, last year was a disaster. All the way up until this point, until last year, we were talking about Russell Wilson potentially being an NFL Hall of Famer. He's a former Super Bowl champion, one of the most clutch fourth quarter quarterbacks of this current generation. Several playoff wins to his resume, helped the Seattle Seahawks become a contender year in and year out with his time spent in Seattle. Last year, had the worst year of his career. Did not look like the same Russell Wilson that we all know that he can be, and there's a lot of reasons to that. I don't think that Nathaniel Hackett was ready to be an NFL head coach. Russell Wilson did not look like himself. That was by far the worst year of his NFL career thus far. But things are changing in Denver, hopefully for the better. Now this year he has former Super Bowl champion Sean Payton, a great offensive-minded guy. He's going to have Sean Payton to help him get back on track. He's going to be the offensive play caller for the Denver Broncos as he is the ringleader of this organization now as the head coach for the franchise. So I think having Russell Wilson and Sean Payton together, you can't go wrong with that duo. And Russell Wilson's game cannot get any worse than what it was last year. So I'm looking for him to improve. And during this offseason, he lost 15 pounds. This offseason, he's looking more lean. He's looking to be more mobile in the pocket, making plays with his legs like he normally does to get extra yardage to help his team and put his team in a great position. So I'm looking for Russell Wilson to be more mobile. He's going to be more agile. He's more lean. The offense. He's going to have Jerry Jeudy. I understand Jerry Jeudy is battling a hamstring injury. We don't know the timetable of that injury right now. But the offense is going to have Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton he's going to have, Javonte Williams coming back from a torn ACL in the backfield. I think he's going to have his offensive weapons that make sure he can have an improved year this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what Russell Wilson will look like. He's on my improved list this year. Next quarterback, Derek Carr. And I think Derek Carr is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL today, but he's in a great position this season with the New Orleans Saints. He was released by the Las Vegas Raiders early in the NFL offseason, signed with the Saints, now has a new home in New Orleans. And he's on a much more balanced team than what he once was with the Las Vegas Raiders. And he actually has a chance to compete this year in the NFC that's looking like the JV of football compared to the AFC, which in my opinion is the varsity of football this year. So with that being said, he's actually going to be playing in a weaker conference. I expect Derek Carr to have more wins than losses in the win and loss column this year. He's not going to be playing Patrick Mahomes twice a year. He's not going to be playing Justin Herbert like he did twice a year when he spent his time in the AFC West. He's going to be playing in the NFC South that is wide open for all four respective teams to win that division this year. And he's playing guys like Bryce Young, who's a rookie. He's going to be playing him twice a year when they play the Panthers. He's going to be playing Desmond Ridder, first-year starter when they play the Atlanta Falcons twice a year. He's going to be playing Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who has not been a proven quarterback since he was the first overall pick back in 2018. So he plays a lot of good quarterbacks that he's going to be better than, and he's on a better team than those respective quarterbacks. I think he's going to be very successful in that division. I'll get to that later on in the episode. But this year, Derek Carr has playmakers all around the board in the Saints offense. He has Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. He has Alvin Kamara. He has Jamal Williams to score and to help him in the offense to score points. And then their defense is pretty good, really well balanced. A lot of playmakers on that side of the ball as well. So they're going to help him. That defense is going to help him stay in games compared to what the Raiders defense was last year, atrocious, and it did not help Derek Carr stay in games. So looking forward to Derek Carr being improved. He's on my list as well. Then Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett is on my list. He's heading into a sophomore season. He will be the full-time starter this upcoming NFL season. As you guys remember, he sat a few games behind Mitch Trubisky, then eventually became the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He will have a full opportunity to be the franchise quarterback this season and showed a glimpse of growth in the second half of his rookie season last year when it comes to turning the ball over. If you guys follow the podcast, I went over his touchdown-interception ratio, how much it drastically changed from the beginning of the season all the way to the end of the season. It's really been improved by Kenny Pickett. I think he's set to have a breakout sophomore season because the offensive line is improved for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has Najee Harris to hand the ball off to take the weight off his shoulders. He has some weapons at the wide receiver position. He has George Pickens. He has Deontay Johnson. He has Allen Robinson. I'm expecting a big leap year for Kenny Pickett. He's on my improved quarterback list as well. Next quarterback is Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields did show growth in his second year in the NFL, showing the growth, especially in the second half when he became when he became the fourth quarterback in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in an NFL season. It was just under 100 yards away from breaking Lamar Jackson's rushing quarterback record. Fell short of that record, but did show improvements in the second half and the department of making plays with your legs. Now I think he's going to put it all together by being a great dual threat quarterback this year when he takes the leap into his third season. And the Chicago Bears set him up for success. He's surrounded by weapons. He has DJ Moore, who they just acquired from the Carolina Panthers. He has Darnell Mooney. He has Chase Claypool. He has Cole Kmet at the tight end position, which I do believe is an underrated tight end in his own right as well. Quarterbacks do better, and history is repeated. I do believe history will repeat itself this year. Quarterbacks do better when they finally get a number one wide receiver. You saw how ordinary Josh Allen looked before he got Stephon Diggs. He took off once he got Stephon Diggs, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You saw what Jalen Hurts looked like. He looked like an average quarterback, one-read scramble guy before A.J. Brown came to town. The Eagles traded for him. Now Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. I'm not saying that Justin Fields will become one of the best in the league, but he's going to have a leap year having a true number one wide receiver. And I feel like he's going to follow the footsteps of Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts in that department. Justin Fields is going to have a good year. He's on my improved list. And last but not least is my guy, Dak Prescott. Now, I get it. Dak Prescott deserves a lot of criticism for what he's done in the last 2 years of the playoffs. And Dak Prescott had an off year last year, throwing a career high of 15 interceptions. Now, have it. 15 interceptions was not all his fault. There was a lot of drop balls by the receivers that turned into a lot of against that Jacksonville Jaguars game, passed the ball to, I believe it was, Noah Brown, and it ended up being a drop pass. Defense scooped it up, pick six, and the game in overtime. Plays like that, it's not all on Dak Prescott, all 15 interceptions, but at the end of the day, in the 2022 season, Dak Prescott was tied for the most interceptions in the NFL with 15 thrown interceptions. That cannot happen this year if the Cowboys are going to be true contenders and go on a run to eventually win a Super Bowl. I haven't seen them win a Super Bowl since I've been alive. So Dak Prescott went through a lot last year. He had to get used to life without his former number one wide receiver, Amari Cooper. He had dealt with the hand injury that he received in week 1. Came back week 7 with a lot of high expectations on him because the Cowboys were winning because of Cooper Rush and that outstanding defense. A lot of pressure came back on him when he finally got back into the lineup. So I think he was going through a lot mentally and physically last year that he will not mention. He's not one to say excuses about himself, but I know that Dak Prescott was going through a lot last year. But this offseason, they made a huge upgrading from Noah Brown to Brandon Cooks, Brandon Cooks is a veteran wide receiver who has had several 1,000-yard receiving years since he's been in the NFL, dating back to 2014 when he was drafted. They get Michael Gallup back. I don't think that Michael Gallup was 100% coming back from that torn ACL last year. He's coming back. Then you got CeeDee Lamb. Oh, my voice. Then you got CeeDee Lamb. Proved he was a number one wide receiver last year. And I think this year, the offense is going to run through Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was the offensive play caller for the final preseason game that they had against the Las Vegas Raiders. He called all the offensive plays. Even though it was preseason, he helped the offense total of over 400 yards total offense. Will Geyer looked incredible in his final preseason game. It was all because Dak Prescott was the play caller that night. So I believe the offense is going to run through Dak Prescott. I think Mike McCarthy is going to trust him a lot. And we know how smart Dak Prescott is. See, this is the thing about Dak. Everybody knows how talented he is. He just has to put it together when it matters most. Dak Prescott is one of the smartest football quarterbacks in the game. He has a great football IQ. He reminds me of Peyton Manning and Drew Brees audibling from the line of scrimmage, seeing what the defense is providing them, and checking, making new plays at the line of scrimmage, checking to see what's going on. And I think Dak Prescott does a great job with that. I do believe he's going to have a great improved season from last season. But those are my quarterbacks that I do believe are set to have an improved season compared to what they went through last season in their respective NFL careers.